Hello? Can you hear me? Hello, Henry. Hope you're okay. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. And Hillary, I hope you're there as well. Thank you so much. If somebody could give me a mic check, please, and let me know that you can hear me, that would be great. Looking for a mic check. Can you hear me? All right. Thanks, Henry. That's awesome. Okay, so welcome to another Gamertech build. My name is Tal, and today we are building a new gaming PC for young Henry. Now, Henry is with us, so Henry, really glad to have you. I hope you're going to enjoy this. We're building this PC just for you, and then it will be on your doorstep in a matter of days. So I hope you're excited. I'm really excited to build it. I can't wait. I love building PCs. Henry, how old are you? I don't think I know. I'm interested to know how old are you? And is it your birthday soon? Is that why we're doing this? So, what we're going to do today, it's not going to be a super long stream. This is a relatively simple PC to build, and we're probably going to be done within, I'd say, an hour and a bit. Now, once we've got the PC built, what I will do is off stream, after I've turned off the camera, lots of installing of software and making sure that it's all tested and good and a solid, well-made PC. I'll put it through its for its paces, get it all tested, and make sure that everything is great, because the last thing we want is for it to be delivered to you and then something is wrong with it. So we always spend at least half a day doing our testing. But that's the boring part, and you won't enjoy that. So I'm going to finish up building it, and then I'm going to do that this evening and tomorrow. And you'll have your PC very soon, Henry. Henry is 12. Oh, wow, amazing. And 13 on June 22nd. Wow, that's really soon, Henry. That's amazing. And you're getting a PC for your birthday. Your mum and dad are cool. Yeah, that's awesome. What games are you going to play, Henry? I'm interested to know what games you want to play, and what will be the first thing you'll do with your brand new PC. So, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to just make some space on my desk here. And we're going to get started. So, this is all yours. All right, so let's have a look what we've got here. Now this is the main part, right? This is the part that makes all of the games possible. This is your graphics card. So what we tried to do with your PC, Henry, is make sure that we got the very, very best graphics card that we could afford to put into your PC. So this is going to be a really, really great system. Oh, I've still got this starting shortly on my screen. Hold on. There we go. All right. There we go. So this is going to be a great system for years to come, and I think it's going to be fantastic for you. This is going to play great games, super fast, and it's going to last you a really, really long time. So that's the graphics card. The next thing we've got is our processor. Now this is a Ryzen 5 5600. Okay, this is an entry-level Ryzen AM4 processor, but it's really fast, blisteringly quick, really good for playing games. Again, this will last you a real long time. It's a really good bit of kit. Next, we have your motherboard. This is a B550M from Gigabyte, and yeah, not really much to say about motherboards, but you know, do you know anything about PCs, Henry? I'll explain as we go along, but this is kind of like the thing that everything else plugs into. So your graphics card plugs into this, your processor plugs into the motherboard, the RAM plugs in, the memory, your SSD plugs in, and then your power supply, which is what we've got next, makes everything go. We've got a 650 watt power supply here, so loads of power and even some spare overhead as well for if you did want to upgrade anything later on. So that's good. Henry's going to play Roblox, Minecraft, and maybe Fortnite. All right, okay. And right now you have a laptop. Okay, this is going to be the hugest upgrade for you. Man, this is going to be great. You're going to love it. Okay, wait till you see how fast this is compared to your laptop. It's going to blow your mind. This is your RAM. Okay, so we've got some DDR4, 16 gigs of DDR4 here. Plenty fast. And then we've got the M.2 SSD, which is from ANTEC. So, this is your case, and this is an ANTEC NX360. Nice little case with some really funky RGB lights on there as well. So I think you're going to enjoy how that looks. We won't look at that at the moment though, because we don't need that just yet. What I need though is a sip of water because it is warm. I don't know where you are, Henry, but it is really warm in here. Okay. I've got my fan on here. I've got the windows wide open. Woo! Okay. And your laptop is 7 years old as well. Oh my gosh. You are going to have the best time. It's going to be like going from what would you know? Cars? Do you know cars? It would be like going from a 1.1 Fiesta to a Ferrari. Or football, it would be like going from a League 3 player to Lionel Messi, maybe. I don't really know much about football, so I don't know why I'm making football analogies. Right, so with that out of the way, just to let you know, your PC is, as I said, your PC will be delivered in a couple of days, and you'll also have peace of mind warranty with that as well. So Gamertech offers a 3-year warranty that covers everything, including your parts. So if something goes wrong, you give us a call, we'll try and fix it, do a little bit of troubleshooting, and if one of the products, you know, let's say we figure out that the graphics card might be faulty, we'll swap it over for you. You'll get a new one. Easy as that. So that's 3 years, and usually Gamertech we can upgrade to 5 years if you need that as well. All right. That thing must rust. Frank says that thing must run hot sometimes. Yes, silky smooth upgrade. Absolutely. Oh, can't wait. All right, so let's get started. Let's put some things aside that we won't need. We won't need the graphics card for the moment. So we're going to get started with our motherboard. Let's put our other camera on. Hopefully you'll be able to see what's going on here. Let's make this a bit bigger. Can we do that? Oh yeah, look at that, real time as well. The wonders of technology. Okay, so that's a bit bigger. Oh, we've got this big keyboard in the way. Let's try and move this, shall we? I literally have nowhere to put this. The joys of live television. Oh god, I don't know what's happening there. Is that out of the way? Kind of. Okay, so I think we're good. We can see this okay, so let's get started. There's not much we need. We've got our trusty screwdriver. We've got a knife to open things up. And we've got water because it is warm. And now we're going to get started. Don't forget to visit gamertech.org where you can find the best and cheapest custom-made PCs in the whole of the country. Soon to be launching our configurator where you'll be able to choose from up to about 2,000, almost 2,000 different parts to build your dream PC. Now, I'm not really talking to you right now, Henry, because obviously we're building your dream PC, but this is talking to anyone else that might be watching. So if there's anybody else that's watching out there, please visit gamertech.org and have a look. We've got some great deals. Right, just going to throw that down there. Oh, that's a really nice looking motherboard. Let's have a look at that, shall we? What do you think? That's quite nice. I really like it. So, what we do now is we're going to put all of our components into the motherboard, and then we put the motherboard into the case. And that's it. That's how you build a PC. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but... So, we'll start with the processor. This is the brain of the computer, Henry, all right? So, everything that happens, the brain, it's like your brain, right? The brain tells the body and the organs and your legs and your arms and your heart and all of the other bits. It tells everything how to work and what to do, right? So that's what the CPU is. Do you know what CPU stands for, Henry? Any ideas? Little pop quiz for you. Let me know in the chat. Right, so I'm going to install this. We've got a little marker here, you won't be able to see this because it's absolutely tiny, but there is a little pointy arrow here, and we're going to look for the pointy arrow on the motherboard, which is also there. So then we open up the slot, all right, and we get our pointy arrow on the CPU, line it up with our pointy arrow on the motherboard, gently slot it in, and then put that back down. And now that's it. That's our CPU installed. All right. Next thing we need to do, we've got some bits here. I'm going to do a little, should we do close up top? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do, how about that? Yeah, let's go for that one. Okay. We're going to take off these small connectors here. Ah, Mum said it's the central processing unit. Well, you know what? Your mum's a genius. That is exactly what it is. Okay. There'll be more pop quiz questions coming as we go, Henry, okay? Let's see who can answer the most, who can get the most correct out of you and your mum, all right? Do you think you can do that? See if you're smarter than she is? I bet you are. Right. Okay, so this is where we're going to install our cooler, okay? Now, I'm thinking, should we do that now? Yeah, I think we should probably do that now, actually. Right, so, here's our cooler. Oh, let's throw that down there as well. Excellent. So, here's our cooler, all right? This is our fan. That's going to keep our central processing unit nice and cool, all right? So we need to make sure that this is nice and firmly fixed onto the motherboard. And it's really simple because we've got some just little holes that the screws go into, you see? So it's really as simple as, oh, and usually, so some coolers come with paste, right? So have a look at that there. Can you see? Oh, here we go. There's a good angle. Can you see? That's called thermal paste. Okay. So what that does, Henry, is when your computer's doing lots of things like playing games, it can get a bit hot, right? But that's okay because that's what the cooler's for. So the paste is kind of like a heat transfer material, and it takes all of the heat from your CPU and puts it into this cooler, and then uses the cold air to cool it down. So it's really important that we have some thermal paste on here. Now this one's already got it on. Sometimes you have to put thermal paste on yourself, so we don't need to do that today, which is great. We just get to plonk it on and it's nice and easy. So down we go, get it into place, and that's it, it's in place. And now all we have to do is screw it in. Now here we want to be a bit careful because we want to have like what's the right word? A consistent pressure, I guess, across the whole CPU. So we want to do like one corner, then another corner, and then the other corner, so that it's not just putting pressure on one side only, okay? That's really important. So I'm just going to screw these in, and it's nice and easy. And what happens is, when we get to the end, we just won't be able to screw any further. And that tells us that we're done. I reckon that next time, after you've watched me build this PC for you, or your PC, after you've watched me build your PC, I reckon next time you want to get a PC when you're a bit older, you can probably build your own one. I think you can do it. Now, this is our cable to plug our fan in. Okay, so the fan needs power. So we've got a little header on here that says CPU fan, and plop, in it goes. Simple as that. Now what we'll do is we'll just kind of tidy this up and make it a little bit, like tuck it underneath here, so it's nice and tidy. There we go. And that's it. That's the CPU cooler. Like I said, oops, sorry, I just need to clean my glasses a little bit. As I said, building PCs is, well, I mean, it's easy for me because I've built like 1,000 PCs, Henry, but building PCs is not massively difficult. A little bit of practice, and I think anyone could do it. I think the difference is, so what we offer, remember I said earlier about our warranty, our 3-year warranty. That's very important, because if you built your own PC and something went wrong, you'd only have probably a 1-year warranty on the parts. So you get a bit more protection from buying through a company like us, which is great. So this is our RAM, and we've got some nice RGB RAM here as well. You can see it's got lights on the top. This is going to be really flashy. It's going to look cool. All right. So now we want to put our RAM. Now we've got 4 slots here. Okay. Tell you what, I'm going to zoom in a little bit on our overhead camera here. Let's see if we can do that. Configure video and zooming in. Is that enough? Is that too much? Okay, no, that's cool. So we've got 4 slots, but we've got 2 sticks of RAM. What do we do with that? Okay, I'll tell you what we do with that. We need to put them in specific slots. All right, so you've got black ones and grey ones. The black ones are number 1 and number 3, and then the grey ones are number 2 and number 4. We're going to be using numbers 2 and number 4. And what I mean by that is from the closest one to the processor. Not 1, but number 2, not 3, but number 4. All right. So there's just one way to put these in, and we just want to make sure that it's lined up, because there's a little notch there, and then we just push, and then we get click, click, and it goes in a very satisfying way. Okay. Oh, there we go. We got our first click, and then I stopped pushing, and I was like, oh, hang on a minute, we didn't get our 2 clicks. I pushed a bit more, got our 2 clicks. It's all good. Frank says, we like a bit of cable management. Oof, cable, that's the tough part, I tell you. Installing a cooler, although this is a super easy one, some of them are very complicated, and doing all the cable management, that's the tough part. That's the really tough part. That's why you ask a professional to do it, right? Frank says, what happens if you put the RAM in the wrong slots? Feels like an easy mistake to make. Yeah, you know what? It is an easy mistake to make, and it's a bit of a pain actually for DIY builders, because, I mean, how are you supposed to know really? You can look in the manual, and it does say in the manual, but it's not kind of like a easily known thing. So one of 2 things could happen. One thing is that it will run very slightly slower if you put it in the other slots. But sometimes some motherboards just they don't like it having in those slots at all, unless you've got 4 sticks of RAM, and it just won't boot. So yeah, it can be a bit tricky if you don't know that one. Thanks, Frank. That's a really good question. Okay, so now that we've done our CPU cooler, we've done our RAM, what's next? I think we're going to do our SSD. This is our SSD right here. We've got 1 terabyte from ANTEC, and this is an M.2. So there's all sorts of different methods of putting storage into your computer. We've got the old-fashioned mechanical hard drives. We don't really use those anymore. Those aren't good. They're too slow, and yeah, that's it really. They're just too slow. Then we've got a non M.2 SSD, or what's called a SATA SSD, and those are much faster than hard drives, mechanical hard drives, but they're still nowhere near as fast as one of these bad boys. So this is an M.2 SSD. So this connects directly into the motherboard, giving you blisteringly fast speeds. So that means when you load up your game, it's going to be super fast. When you transfer some files, it'll be super fast. And all around, these are what you want in your PC. This accepts no substitutes, right? So what we do here is there's a nice slot for us to put in, and we will just slot it in there. And we've got a little thing that goes down here, and that holds it in place. Good question, Henry. What does SSD stand for? Now, what do you think it stands for? Now, that's just my way of stalling while I remember what it actually stands for. No, wait, I've got it. I know what it stands for. What do you think first? You tell me, right? And then I'm going to type I got rid of my keyboard. All right. So you type it in the chat, and I'm going to say on 3, okay? 3, 2, 1. Solid state disk. That's what I think it is. So what that means is that it's solid, right, inside. So there's no moving parts. So all of the storage and all of the files that you put on there is basically stored in as digital data rather than being stored as analog data on a physical mechanical drive. It's kind of hard to explain, but it just means that they're much faster, which is what we want in our PCs, right? So now we've got this installed. What should we do next? We've got graphics card, we've got our power supply, and we've got our case. I think we just need to get this into the case. So let's do this. We need to put this aside for a short while. And what I'm going to do is make some space on the desk, because we're now going to put the PC case right up here. And it's quite big, so we need to make some room. All right, let's cut this open here. Oh, always cut away from you. Nice little tip there. In fact, when you're 12, just don't use knives. Better safe than sorry. Ask mummy or daddy to do it, yeah? I would do that, but my mum's not here today. Hopefully she's watching though. If you are watching, hi mum, love you. Okay, so here we go. Here comes our case. Oh no, it's stuck. Let's try that again. Here comes our... No, it's still stuck. Here comes our case. There we go. Whew. All right. Okay, let's just do a little touch. Make sure we don't have any static, because sometimes when you can take the case out of the box, you get a bit of static on your fingers, which is really annoying. It gives you a little electric shock. Not a hard one though, not a strong one, just a tiny little one. So, one moment while I just take this out here. There we go. Alright, so here's your case. Let's have a look. There's the front. That looks great. I like that. Alright. Here's the side. We've got some we've got your glass side panel here, so you can see inside it. It's gonna look awesome. I really like this case. It's a little bit taller but a little bit thinner, so it should fit in some smaller spaces for you. Now, what we need to do is just now disassemble this case. Yeah, it looks really cool. Oh, I'm glad you think so, Henry. Wait till you see what it looks like when we're finished, all right? It's going to have, I'll show you the fans in a second. The fans light up, and you're going to have some lights on your RAM and lights on the graphics card. It's going to look super cool. But most importantly, it is going to be fast. That's what we want. And the faster a PC is, the longer it will last you as well. It's called future-proofing. You can never really future-proof 100%, because you never know what's going to happen in the future. But the faster your PC is, the longer it should last you. And that's why when I spoke to your mum about building this for you, we made sure that we went with the very best graphics card. Now this is going to power all of your games. This is going to make your games go lightning quick. And that's very important. So, we probably don't need that. I'll keep it, I won't throw it down there. I'll keep it just handy, just in case, because famous last words when you say we don't need the manual, and then of course I'm doing something, I'm like, oh no, I need to look at the manual. But hopefully, because I'm a professional, shouldn't have to do that. But saying that, sometimes I do. Okay, so what we've got here then, oh, let me show you these fans. I can probably take the front off somehow. I actually don't know how. Oh, here we go, right. Here we go. So there's the front off, and there's your 3 RGB fans in there, and those are going to light up really nicely. Very cool. Yeah, that's the thing, Frank. Games do keep getting better and better, and games keep getting more advanced, better looking. So one thing you can do, right? So here's a little tip for you. You know, if you spend all of your money on a PC now and you can run it at like really fast and, you know, high frames per second, it looks really cool, but, you know, 3 or 4, 5 years down the line, you know, the games have all got much harder to run, and the games are, you know, more graphically intense, and, you know, the game's it's slowing down a bit because the game's more advanced now than your PC is. Let's say that you don't have enough money to do another upgrade, because, you know, that could be the case, right? It's just normal sometimes. Well, what you can do is just bring the settings down a little bit. So let's say you're running on ultra high settings, you could bring your settings down to just you know, normal, or even low settings, and then it should give you a bit more life in your PC. Now, of course, there will come a time where your PC just won't want to run, you know, modern games. Now that probably won't be within a 5-year period, so it'll be probably after 5 years. But I imagine that most young gamers like yourself, Henry, almost 13 years old, you will want to upgrade probably around that 5 years, or before that time anyway, because you might start playing bigger and better games. Henry, is the fan loud? It can be as quiet as you want it to be. So what we can do is there's something called the BIOS, which is kind of like the master settings of the computer. Now, I can make it so that the fans can spin really fast and they'll be a bit louder, or I can make it so the fans can spin a bit slower and they'll be almost silent. You basically won't hear them. So what I usually do is I set them up to run just a little bit over silent, so that you get some good airflow coming into your PC, because the whole point of the fans, let me show you what the fans do. The fans bring the air through here, they pull the air through the case, so you get lots of cold air inside your computer, and that cools down the components, because everything inside your computer, your CPU, your GPU, and everything else makes heat. So the idea is we then want to cool that down, and we want to then use this fan, which is the rear exhaust fan, to exhaust or blow the warm air out of the back. Okay, so if we had them on literally silent, the fans would be quite slow and there wouldn't be loads of airflow, so your PC might get a little warm. Nothing to worry about, that's just normal, but we put the fans a little bit higher and it will spin a bit faster, and you'll hear it a tiny bit, but it'll be much better for airflow. Now, what I will say is I'll put the setting like I've just described. Now, if you decide that you want it to be a bit faster or a bit slower, you know, a bit louder or silent, just let me know, and I'll change it so that it's. What I can do is I can talk you through. I can, you know, give you a call. We can do it on like a little video call or something, and I'll show you how to change it. It's super easy. Are these fans 140mm? No, I think they're 120mm, Frank. So that means that they're 120mm in diameter. So let's put this down here. I don't think we need that to be off, but you know, we might need to move things around. So now, yeah, let me turn my fan down a bit because, here we go. How's that? If it's hard to hear. Apologies, pseudoscientist. And let me see if I can turn the vocals up a bit as well. Let's try. How's this? Is this any better? Should have the audio a little bit louder, and I've turned the fan down because, well, I was absolutely blisteringly hot earlier, so I've cooled down a little bit now, so I can turn the fan down. Let me know if that's a bit better, pseudoscientist. And by the way, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. If you've got any questions, please just ask away. We're building a PC for young Henry. He's about to turn 13 years old, and his mum and dad, who seem like they're the best mum and dad ever, have bought him a gaming PC, his first ever gaming PC. And he's going from a 7-year-old laptop to a brand new gaming PC with a Ryzen Radeon RX7700XT, which is a really great card. And he is going to have a lot of fun playing games. Evening, Rich. Thank you so much for joining. Nice to have you on board. As per usual, really appreciate you joining, sir. Any questions, please ask. All right. Thanks, no need to apologise. Oh, I'm glad it sounds a lot better now. I think it should sound a lot better. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the motherboard into the PC case now, all right? So I'm going to move some of these things out of the way. And what will be our best angle for this? That's too far. Let's just zoom out a bit, shall we? On this one, the overhead cam. I need a macro to zoom in and zoom out, don't I? Let's maybe try there. Is that good, guys? I think that should be fine. All right, so we're going to put our motherboard into the case now. So what we do is firstly we want to just kind of line it up and make sure that we've got all of the standoffs to in the right place. Okay, so a standoff is kind of where the thing that the motherboard sits on top of. It's like a little holder for the motherboard, and then we screw into those. So I'm just going to kind of put it in and just see. Now, okay, no, we've got the standoffs in the place for an ATX board, and we're using an MATX board, a micro ATX. So we need to remove a couple of those and put them in different places. Do you like the cake? I don't have a cake, Rich. Did you forget to send it to me? My cake hasn't arrived. So, yeah, please let me know where my cake is. And Pseudoscientist says, upgrading from a GTX 1060 6 gig. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. 4080 is a humongous upgrade. Wow. Okay. What's stopping you then? So you said maybe. What's stopping you from going to the 4080? Is it the cost? Is it availability? They can be quite hard to get hold of, and they're quite expensive. If you're worried about how good they are, they're amazing. You know. So if it's not an issue of cost or availability, I would say that the 4080 is literally the best card that you can get for gaming. You can get a 4090 from Nvidia as well, but you're basically paying for extra RAM that you don't really need in a gaming build. So yeah, unless you're doing professional stuff, maybe you're doing some Blender or some other type of professional workloads, like, you know, oh god, I'm forgetting the name now. Video editing software, Adobe. Then you don't really need a 4090. Right, so it's cost. Pseudoscientist, yeah. So an alternative to the 4080, you could look at the AMD 7900XT, which I think is going for about £750 these days. So that's one to consider. It's, you know, it's a fair bit cheaper. So you can get the 4080 Super for about £1,000, and you can get the AMD equivalent for, well, it's not quite equivalent. It's not quite as good, but it is quite a lot less expensive. So, you know, you can just weigh it up, can't you? Right, I'm just going to install these motherboard standoffs now. We've got a nice little tool to do that. Pseudoscientist says, I want to play with some AI art. Okay. Yeah. I mean, my rule of thumb is if you're doing anything professional, go NVIDIA. That's... It's quite a broad statement, but I find it to be true probably 99% of the times. If you're doing any kind of professional workloads and you're doing anything other than gaming, NVIDIA is the way to go. If you're just gaming and you're only gaming, then AMD's fine. So AMD hasn't quite got there in the kind of professional suite of software yet. They're nowhere near where NVIDIA are, but they still do make really, really good GPUs for gaming. So. Right, let's get this in. Let's check all these motherboard standoffs. Yeah, and I think we're good. Oh no, we need one more. I need to put one just here. So I've got a spare one, and I'm going to install that now. Oh, Henry says he's looking to get some new games. Do you have any recommendations? Ooh, new games. What kind of games do you like, Henry? So I guess if you're playing Roblox and Minecraft, do you like first-person kind of shooter games or building games? What you know? What do you know? What I mean by the word genre? Do you know what type of game? So maybe it's a sports game, shooting game, or a puzzle game, that kind of thing. Is do you know which of those you like to play? Treat yourself to ray tracing on Minecraft. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Minecraft with ray tracing on a high-end NVIDIA card like a 4080. Chef's kiss. Perfect. It looks incredible. Right. Let me just check. I think there might be one more. Yeah, there's one more we have to add. You like action games. Okay. Well, the one that everybody's playing at the moment is called Helldivers. Helldivers 2. Now, I don't know if that is a more adult game. You'll have to ask your mum about that. And Hilary, I'm really sorry if I've just recommended a game that's beyond his that's too old for him. I don't know what the age rating is on that. So please, you know, not advice. No, it's my legal disclaimer. What's ray tracing? Oh, cool. Okay, so ray tracing is basically this fancy technology, Henry, and what it does is it makes all of the lighting in your game lifelike, like real-time lighting. So when you move around in the game, if it doesn't have ray tracing, all of the shadows and the reflections and things in water, they're kind of like pre-programmed. But if you have ray tracing, then that's kind of done in real time, and it means that it looks super gorgeous, really, really good looking, and it's just, yeah, beautiful looking. Yeah, it can be quite tough to run though. So ray tracing takes a lot of power from your graphics card. So you need to have a good graphics card. Now, you do have a good graphics card, but that's not to say that I would really recommend always using ray tracing, because it can take a lot of your performance away. So let's say if you ran a game without ray tracing, you might get maybe 150 frames per second. If you run it with ray tracing, you might get something more like 50 frames per second. Now, if you're playing a shooting game where you need, you know, I've got the wrong one there. If you're playing a shooting game where you need, sorry, 1 second while I just pick out the correct screws. A shooting game where you want it to be kind of like fast and really quick. because you need to make very quick decisions and see people and shoot them very fast, then ray tracing is probably not a good idea. But if you're playing maybe a single player game, so the big one that people use for with ray tracing is called Cyberpunk, and that's a very good game that does ray tracing really, really well. Frank says, if you like survival games, I really enjoyed Stranded Deep and Raft. Raft in particular is really chill. Yeah, I saw Frank playing Raft, and it's kind of cool. You're on a raft in the middle of the ocean, and you kind of just have to survive by, building things and making sure you don't get eaten by sharks. So that's kind of cool. And Frank also says, for pure randomness and chaos, I have to go with Crab Champions. Frank is absolutely addicted to Crab Champions. So Henry, you play as a crab. Stay with me. I know it sounds a bit weird, but you play as a crab and you run around and you shoot things. And it's really bonkers. It's really bonkers and really quite fun. Pseudoscientist says, single player games look amazing. If you're running around like Crab Champ, then you don't need it. Yeah, absolutely, you're right there. Single player games, turn that ray tracing off. And for multiplayer games where you need all the performance and the frames per second, that's where you... Sorry, single player games turn ray tracing on. I said off, didn't I? And multiplayer games, you want to turn it off. Okay. Pseudoscientist said, I was looking at the 14700 but might go for the 13900 instead. Okay, yeah. And then I can undervolt, and 4080 shouldn't stress the i9. It shouldn't really stress the i9 anyway. I would say, again, if you're doing production stuff, if you're doing anything other than games, then the 900 is great. If you're just gaming, the 700 is plenty. It's more than plenty. You could even go for the 600 or even the 500. Thanks for the recommendation sent, Henry. I'll make sure to look into them. Oh, that's awesome. You're welcome, dude. All right, so we've got one more little screw to put in here. I've been playing a game that's very old recently, a game that I got back into called World of Warcraft. I mean, it doesn't really need any introductions. Everybody knows what World of Warcraft is, or at least everybody that's old like me. And yeah, I've been playing World of Warcraft again, and it's been super fun. So I'm really, really enjoying that. Okay, that's our motherboard in. Great news. So what we're going to do now is put in our power supply, and we'll put all of the main power supply cables all around. Bring them in. So we've got a big connector here. This is our motherboard 24-pin connector, and up here we've got, you can't really see that because of the light, up here we've got another connector which is 8 pins, and that's for our CPU power. And then we need to bring in some other cables as well, but yeah, we are doing very well. Let's see, there we go. Thanks everyone for the questions. I really appreciate it. I love building PCs, and I love live streaming building PCs, but sometimes when you're just kind of like, trying to make conversation with yourself, it's tough. It's really tough. And to be honest, I'm not that interesting of a person. So, it's really hard for me to think of things to say. So it's so helpful when there are people that ask questions in the chat. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks Pseudoscientist, thanks Frank, thanks Henry, thanks Rich. I appreciate you all. Okay, so we're taking out our power supply. I'm going to save this, that's the power cable. And then let's just bring that out as well. Usually we would have a little plastic baggy thing with some screws for the PSU. I don't seem to have any, which is strange. Right, well, I've probably got plenty anyway. So Right, next question. Oh, I forgot to ask questions, didn't I? Okay, that's fine. So this, Henry, is a PSU. Can you guess what this means? No hints in the chat for anyone that definitely knows what it is. We're doing a little competition between Henry and his mum. So let's see who knows what PSU stands for. I'll give you a hint. The first word is power, because this is what supplies power. Okay. Pseudoscientist says, "Oh, sub. Hey, thanks so much, dude. Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you." We have, I think, something like just over 50 subscribers. Thank you to every single one of you. I really appreciate you all. Pseudoscientist, since you're here, we are gamertech.org, and you can go and visit our website if you like, and have a look at all of the PCs that we sell. Very soon we'll have our custom configurator online, where you'll be able to build your own PC from as many as 2,000 different components. So, and we are very well priced. Our whole ethos is affordable gaming. That's our motto, affordable gaming. We want to make sure, I've done this the wrong way around, that there are as many people as possible, especially young new gamers like Henry, that can get into PC gaming. So we make sure that our prices are always really, really good. Rich says it's Polish submarine unit. You're really close on that one, Rich. You've got one of the words right. I'm not going to tell you which one though. And Pseudoscientist says processor super unit. Oh, you've also got one word right. Oh, Henry got it. Is it power supply unit? All right. That man, he knows his stuff. Okay. So what we're going to do, we've got 4 screws here, 4 big screws that we're going to use to put our power supply into the PC chassis, into the case rather. And I'm just going to get those put in now. Hopefully. It's kind of hard to do this, it's a bit of a funny angle, and I'm afraid you probably can't see anything. So hopefully I'll just get this done real quick, and then we'll move on to something more interesting. Okay. Power supply unit. Well done, Henry. Okay. So once our Polish submarine unit is plugged in and attached to our case, we need to run some of the cabling. So it's really important that the cabling is done kind of in a, not a nice way, it's kind of tidy, because we need to think about, remember I said earlier, Henry, when we've got the fans are blowing air going through the case to cool everything down, if there's loads of cables all over the place, then it's going to like stop that air from going through. Do you know what I mean? So we need to make sure that the cables are nice and tidy. But that's my job, so you know, I'll make sure that's done before we ship it out to you. And you didn't ask your mum as well. Oh wow, we have got a future little PC builder in the house here. He knows his stuff. Okay, so we've got these handy little holes up here. Now I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see, but I'm just putting this cable through here, right? So I'll tell you what I'll do. No, I was gonna change the camera, but it's actually, this is fine. So we're gonna pull this through, and then we need to plug it into the connector here. Now this is a lot easier than I'm probably making it look, because I'm at some super weird angle and I can't see. So right, okay. Sorry, I'm gonna just do it. I'm just gonna do it. Oh no, it was actually my mum. Henry? Oh man. Alright, well that's who got the first one? It was your mum. That's 2-0 to your mum. Unbelievable. Right. We've got now, we want to bring through the CPU cable. Now, the connector. Now, I'm just going to move some things around back here. Sorry about all of the wiggly noises and everything. So we've got two connectors and we've got a nice little space up here. We just bring this through here, and then again, it's kind of awkward, but they just go into this slot up here. Now, these two stages is actually really important, and I'll tell you why. Because sometimes when someone makes you a PC, now this has never happened to me because obviously I'm a professional builder, but some other builders, I've seen reports that, you know, maybe when something has been shipped or it hasn't been plugged in right, so this cable here and this cable is easy to push, but for it to not go in completely, it's really important that you do that. So I've double checked and they're all in completely. Yep, Henry has integrity. He'll make a good gamer. Brilliant, Rich. Well done. Right. Now, there's a few cables that we don't need here. Okay, so let me just separate these out. So what are the other ones we've got? We've got cables for SATA. Don't need any of those. We've got more cables for CPU. And we don't need the CPU one, but we do need these two VGAs. So that's the cables for our graphics card. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of tuck those into the holes already so that they're ready to go when I need them. And then when we come to plugging in the graphics card, they're right there. Now these other ones that we don't need, we're just going to tuck them down. Like literally just kind of tuck them nice and out of the way here so that we don't ever see those cables again. All right. Pseudoscientist says, building a tower of wood. Since I have time, saving up money is an interesting idea to me too. What do you think? Yes, I know how to run tools. Wow, that's a great idea. If you know what you're doing, it's a great idea because obviously you've got electrical components. And it says you know how to run tools. I imagine then it probably sounds like you do you know a little bit about, you know, conductivity and electricity and how that would work with wood? I don't know how that works, but I have seen cases that are made out of wood, so I know it is possible. I don't know the mechanics of it. So what I do know though is that it will be a wicked fun project. I'd love to see what that looks like. So if you ever do that, please you know, come and watch another one of these streams and show us a picture. I'd be so interested to see. Very cool idea. I wish I had some woodworking knowledge to do things like that, but alas, I am not that way inclined. Right, so what we're doing now is we've got some more cables. I'm going to bring this back a bit. Oops. We're now doing a USB cable. Now this can be all sorts of places, and usually it's over here, but I've just seen it's in a completely different place. So I'm going to bring it through here. Please fit. There we go. And then that goes nice and easily into the USB 3.2 socket. Be careful when you plug those in because it's got pins in it. I want to lay my motherboard flat and have my PSU and cooler radiator in back different areas so the heat is removed. Yeah, that's definitely the way to do it for sure. But just make sure that you have some idea about the conductivity and grounding for the motherboard. I don't think it'd take too much to, you know, figure that stuff out. It sounds like you know what you're doing. So yeah, good luck to you, dude. That's wicked. Very excited about that. I've been watching a lot of woodworking stuff on YouTube, but mainly about building things like tables. Been watching this guy who does epoxy tables, wood and epoxy tables. Super interesting. Right, okay, so we've got a few more cables to do. Let's see what we've got here. So this is our audio cable. Now that is usually, I'm going to take this little fan guard, dust guard off there. audio is usually right down here. Yep, there's audio. So we're going to bring that up through this handy hole, and that just goes in our HD audio header right there, nice and easy. What else have we got? We should have some fan connectors, which I can see here. We should also have another USB, so let's just get this other USB in. Again, it's just a question of finding the right header. Yeah, here we go, yeah. And just getting it plugged in nice and simple. Oops, hang on. Hopefully you can see some of this. I know that it's probably not at the best angle, but hopefully it's okay. So we've got now a fan header and a USB, sorry, not USB, but a, come on, use your words, Tal, a RGB header. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. All right, so we need to find out where our RGB header is on the motherboard. Now, some motherboards just have one or maybe two. Some have loads. Where are you? Where are you? Am I going blind? Hello? I must be going blind. Right, well I can't see it right now, which is strange. Let me just have a little look. Okay, where are you? System fan, audio. CPU fan, are you down there? I'm just going blind. Alright, I'll find that later. It must be the heat getting to me. Okay. Right, so what we have next is we've got our front panel cables. So what we need to do is our front panel, which is up here, I don't know if you can see, but we've got, you know, a power button, etc., etc. And we need to plug in the cables that bring the power button and everything to our motherboard. Now we've got headers up here, so I'm going to just pass these through so that I've got them in the right place, and we're going to get them plugged in. Pseudoscientists. I want to save piano name and try and use some metal pieces if possible. Oh my gosh. And hang on, I want to lay the motherboard flat. Okay, just to add to this insane project, I want to salvage an old piano. People throw them away, no room for them. I know it's not perfect, but it should look amazing. Oh, old, I see. That is so cool. Oh man. You know what? Hopefully you've got a camera. Just use your phone, dude. Put it on YouTube. I would love to see that. I would truly, truly love to see that. That would be amazing. Right. HD. What we need to do is we need to look really hard because there's they're very, very tiny cables, and we're just looking for a power LED and LED, power LED. That's those ones there, and that's plus and minus. Okay. Sorry about the lack of, you know, seeing anything here, but it's really such a tiny little job. There's nothing I can do about really showing this to you, unless I had a telescope, basically. Now we're looking for one more power cable, which is this one here. I'm going to bring that through. Sorry, you can't see that, can you? And then that's for our power. So let's just put this one down here as well. And all we need to do is just find out which one's the power switch. And it's that one there. Okay. We are almost done. I'll read the flipping manual for the headers. Oh, no. I don't want to. It could look amazing or like a Frankenstein project. But you know what? Even if it was a Frankenstein project, I think that would look super cool as well, dude. So, yeah, I say just do it. I think that's awesome. All right, so I'm just going to plug in our fan header back here. Sorry you can't see this. And what else have we got to do? Oh yeah, graphics card. So we've got our power cables for our graphics card, so let's just make sure that we can see those and get to those nice and easy. Let's pull that through a bit more. Here we go. Now let's unbox this beautiful GPU. Right, Henry, next question. This is a GPU. What does this one stand for? I'll give you a clue. The G means graphics or graphical. All right, let's have a look at this bad boy. Ooh, yeah. Okay, any accessories? Nope, nothing there that we need. Throw that down there, and let's unbox this. Oh, all right, some super strong stickers. Yeah. Oh my god. Right. Here we go. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. Woo! All right. Is it going to fit? Ooh. Now, I checked the specs of the case and the graphics card, and it says it's going to fit. I'm a little bit worried. I'm a little bit worried. I checked the specs, okay? I promise. I checked the specs. So, yeah. What does Henry say? Graphics processor unit. Yes, Henry! Whoop, whoop, whoop. You got it, bro. That is it. Right. Let's take off this and plug it in here because we don't need to use. There's another little tip I'm going to give you guys. Just in a moment when I've plugged in the GPU here. I'm just going to measure it up and see. Oh my god, it is actually super duper close. But it does fit. Just. Okay, so we need to get rid of slots 2 and 3. Giant pink unicycle. Oh man, Rich. Oh, you honestly, dude, you're so close every time. You really are. I appreciate your effort though. But no, it's not giant pink unicycle. Unfortunately, Henry got this one. Well done, Henry. So, let's negotiate this back in again. Damn, that is real tight. But that's fine. Now we just need to plug this in. Oh, we need a thing here. There we go. So I'm just putting a screw into the side of this GPU here so that it holds in place nice and easily. Okay. And there we go. What do you think? That is really close. I'm not kidding. Let me do a little close up here. Look at this. Look how close that is. Well, they said it could fit, and it does. It does fit. All right, so let's plug in our power cables for the GPU, the giant pink unicycle, obviously. Thanks, Rich. Oh, let's turn it around. Okay, there's one. You just need to match these little connectors up nice and easily here, and then plug in the second one. All right, let's do a little peel. There's nothing to peel off the top. That's great. So, oh, we just got to plug this. Oh, you know what? I'll do that after. No, I won't do that. I'll do that now. We just need to plug in this fan header right here. I forgot to do that earlier. It's a bit easier to do it well before the graphics card is in, but this cable will just slide underneath nicely, usually. Unless there's something there. I don't think there is. Alright. It's not nicely sliding, but where's the best place to put it? Probably over down here. Here we go. Clearance is clearance. Yeah. You're not wrong, Frank, but that was a little too close to my liking. Now, I've got big hands. I can't reach down there. Oh god, I've done it the wrong way around. Can I do it? I'm basically blind. Okay, come on. No. Oh gosh, okay. Let's try again. Come on now. You can do it. Get in there. All right. Okay. It's in. Gonna tidy this up later, but we are all good. Okay, so let's just tidy this cable up a little bit so it's not quite so pokey outy. And I think we're looking all right. So we're going to plug in some power and give it a little test boot. Let's go. Okay, and we turn on. Whoop. All right, there we go. So here's the front, Henry. What do you think about that? Looking cool. Oh, don't know why my lights are flashing there. That's a bit strange. And then in here, we've got you some lights on your RAM there, and we've got some lights down on your GPU as well. This is looking sweet. All right, let's put the front back on. Okay. Wow, that's a loud click. Whoop, that's even louder. This is our dust guard, so it stops all the dust getting through. Now, I don't know about you, Henry, but I think that looks super cool. That looks really cool indeed. I'm real happy with that. What do you think, dude? Okay. All right, well, that's basically it. Thank you so much for joining. We've got post on our test monitor here, which is brilliant, but I knew that already because I tested it earlier. So we've got our post. The PC is looking great. I'm really happy about this. So, Henry, this is going to be winging its way to you. Probably, maybe tomorrow, in a couple of days. It's going to take a couple of days to get to you, but it will be with you real soon, I promise. But yeah, we're all done. Now, was there anything else we wanted to do on the quiz? Oh yeah, RAM. Can you tell me what RAM means? R-A-M. Any guesses? This is a tough one. Turn the overheat light off. But yeah, you're right, Frank. It is some lovely RGB, actually. I really like it. I can hear Pendulum just looking at it. Brilliant. And that scrolling RGB on the RAM. Who knows what RAM stands for? R-A-M. Bye, pseudoscientist. Thank you so much for popping in. Really glad to have you here. Thanks for your questions. Henry says, I'm really pleased. Thank you so much. And I really enjoyed you watching you make it. Ah, Henry, that's really great. I'm so happy that you're happy. I really am. And as I said, this is going to be your PC now. So please let me know how it goes. If you need any help with it, Henry, just give me a call. All right? Your mum's got my number. Send me a text on WhatsApp or give me a call, and I will help with anything that you need. Okay? And Rich and Martin, it's a really amazing monitor. RAM is the best album by Daft Punk. I'm afraid you're all wrong. Yeah. Actually, technically speaking, RAM, Frank isn't wrong there, because it is random access memory. Good one. That's it. So, thank you for joining this build. I really appreciate it. Henry has got himself a brand new gaming PC that is blisteringly fast and only costs about £800. The value that we offer here at Gamertech is off the charts. Absolutely off the charts. So just to say again, we've got an AMD 7700XT graphics card in here. We've got a Ryzen 5600 CPU. We've got 16 gigabytes of fast DDR4 RAM, a terabyte of storage, a really nice looking fan, and yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I think Henry's going to be happy too. So please take a look at gamertech.org, where you can find all of your affordable gaming PCs, the most affordable in the UK. And I've been Tal, and that's it. We're done. Thanks so much. See you next time. Bye bye.